Manchester United, known as one of the biggest teams in England and known once upon a time as the biggest team in England. And I truly believe they are still a massive club in Europe. But right now, the way it's going, Manchester United's history, Manchester United's club has been on a massive downfall. Ruben Amorim stepped in just a few weeks ago to try to transform this team back to what they used to be, to the glory days, to glory, glory Man United. They've been linked with a couple players in the transfer window, and that's exactly what we are going to attempt to do today. We are going to link up the players that are linked with Manchester United, bring them into the club, and see if they can help Manchester United that are in a terrible situation. 14th place in real life. Ruben Amorim has his work cut out. Now, in this sim, Manchester United is a little bit lucky because even though the results were the same, I had to sim because the live update, like you could play from where it is actually in real life. It was only December 10th, so I had to simulate the schedule, and a lot of the games went down exactly the same, but teams around them didn't win their games. So Manchester United is still in 12th place instead of 14th place, which is a blessing for Ruben Amorim. He probably wishes that's the way it was in real life. If I go to the calendar, you'll see that just like in real life, I believe they beat Man City, lost to Spurs, lost to Wolves, lost to Newcastle. I think that's exactly what happened in real life. They actually might have lost that game as well. But either way, this is how it stands at the moment in this sim. In 12th place is Manchester United. Now, there is a guy that plays in Sporting that Ruben Amorim used to coach, and his name is Gyökeres. Now, Gyökeres is a striker that scored 62 goals in the calendar year of 2024. He had an unbelievable season. He's linked with Manchester United. But everyone is saying that Manchester United cannot sign anyone due to financial problems or fair play or whatever you want to call it. So they can't make any signings unless a player leaves. There's been reports that a couple players will be on the way out. Those players are 100% Marcus Rashford, who actually got a massive offer from Saudi Arabia, but supposedly Marcus Rashford turned it down. Now, what we are going to do is sell Marcus Rashford, so that way there is money to bring in Gyökeres. Also, they say Casemiro will most likely be on the way out as well. There's a few players. I'll tell you the ones that they have said. They said Marcus Rashford. They said Casemiro. They also said Eriksen. They also said Lindelof. So we're not going to sell everybody, but we're definitely going to throw up Marcus Rashford, and we're definitely going to throw up Casemiro and see if we get any offers for those. With that being said, Gyökeres plays for Sporting. He has a buyout clause of 100 million. I believe it is 100 million. I don't know how to spell Gyökeres' name correctly. There it is. Viktor Gyökeres, 100 million, which is 80 million pounds in pounds, in English money. Now, we are going to see how much we have to pay for him in this game to bring him in and see if he can help Manchester United bounce back, help Manchester United get out of the 14th place, which is 12th place in this sim, and completely bounce back. Their next game is against Liverpool. You guys know, like I know, that is just something that is terrible news. No one wants to have to play Liverpool with the form they're in right now. Hey, by the way, if you enjoy these little real life simulation things, please hit the thumbs up as it would mean the world to us. Make sure to subscribe around here as we do career mode content and ultimate team content all the time. The Liverpool game ends 3-0. That's what the EA sim says. Wait, it said 3-0 over there, but Manchester United actually won the game. Did I just see that correct? Wow, Manchester United stops the mighty Liverpool with a 2-1 victory under Ruben Amorim. That, my friends, is something I did not expect to see, but we did see. That was wild. We got offers that we are going to jump in and check out. Multiple offers for Marcus Rashford. We're going to find the one that we think is the most actually could happen. First of all, we're going to go to Mano, and we're going to reject this quickly. Then we're going to go back to Marcus Rashford, and it is between Bayer Leverkusen and Aston Villa. Truly, I believe that he'll stay in England, a place like Arsenal or something like that. But Aston Villa is the one that actually put an offer out there, so I'm going to negotiate with Aston Villa really quickly, try to get a little bit more out of them, see if we can. We'll try to go up to, I don't know, 40, 44 million, see if they bite on this one. And it looks like they do. Now, in real life, they said I saw something that they want 50 to 60 million. I don't know if that's true. And supposedly Arsenal offered 30. Ruben Amorim comes to an agreement with Aston Villa, and he could be on his way there. Now, he might reject that. So I'm going to go over to Xabi Alonso in Germany with Bayer Leverkusen, and also offer up 46 million and see if Bayer Leverkusen bites. They're at 40 million. Gonna go up a little bit to 44 million, just like the Aston Villa deal. And once again, that goes through. So if Aston Villa rejects, Bayer Leverkusen, well, if one of them can't negotiate, hopefully one of them will accept, or Rashford will accept one of those teams, and he'll be on his way either to Germany or England. The choice is his. Now that we freed up money, Viktor Gyökeres, look at that, lads. Market value 92 million. We don't know enough about the player, so we have to wait a little bit longer. We're scouting him, I believe, right? We're still scouting him, so we'll wait a little bit longer. We have 3 more days to wait. In those 3 days is an away game against against Arsenal. And in this game against Arsenal for the FA Cup in the round 3, Manchester United is gonna win again. So all of a sudden, Ruben Amorim, something clicked, something flicked, and he is actually picking up W's. But I just want people to understand that their next part of their schedule in real life is Liverpool and Arsenal. Lads, that is a very tough task for Ruben Amorim. With that being said, we'll go over to Gyökeres now and see what is happening with Gyökeres. Also, it looks like we have an offer for Casemiro, and the offer is to Liverpool, it looked like. They want anywhere from 100, 130. Wow, yeah, his release clause is 100. So this is just wrong. His release clause is 100 million, all right? So I don't know why they're making us go to 110 million when his release clause is 100, and I already told you 100 million in real life. We'll offer 105, they want 108. Just for the sake of this video, I don't think Manchester United would ever pay this. Again, his release clause is 100 million. We're gonna go ahead and accept, because we know how much Ruben Amorim and Gyökeres, we understand how important that is. And if there is any player from Spartan that he would want, I would imagine it would be Gyökeres. So now that we got that to go through, let's go ahead and negotiate with the 26-year-old Swedish striker, the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Absolute beast of a player. We'll let him know he's a very, very important part of the team. Massive player here. 5-year deal for Gyökeres, putting him in his 30s. No release clause. There's no need for that. We'll offer you 120 because, again, it's a new Manchester United. We're not trying to pay everyone 350 million a week, okay? And it's a done deal. Ladies and gentlemen, Gyökeres, the brand new number 9, the Ruben Amorim superstar from Sporting, from Lisbon, Sporting Lisbon, is on his way to Manchester United to try to get them back to those glory days, all right? Is it gonna happen? I'm not 100% sure. We don't know. But Ruben Amorim's system, now with Gyökeres, hopefully it's fully intact now and wins can start to flow in and Manchester United can get out of this terrible situation of 12th place, 14th place, 13th place, and start getting close to the top of the table instead of the bottom of the table. Excellent deal is what they're saying, even though we paid 108 million. It is a huge pickup for us. Gyökeres is an 86 overall. Now, I'm not gonna sign many more players because I don't believe, especially signing Gyökeres for that much money, they can really go out and buy much more. I don't believe they got money like that. Let's just be honest with each other. Well, I believe they have money. I just don't think they can spend money like that. With that being said, this is the team. Even though it's not really a 3-back, it's usually a 5-back. You guys know, like I know. And we also know the team usually has on one side, like Dalot's center back. That's just, it's usually not like this, lads. It's usually like Dalot is playing left wing back and Garnacho really hasn't been starting. And look, why is homeboy up here? Like, what are we doing? That's just not even close to being the truth. You know what I mean? Who plays in this position right here? It's not Anthony. You think he plays Holland in that? Nah. I don't even know. Bruno's right there. Guys, I don't even know what tactics is. I guess it's a Cam that would go there. Does that look like his? That does not look like a lineup. But listen, that's what's here. That's what they got. Probably Mason Mount will be up there, actually. Probably Mason Mount, like that, right? Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes. I mean, that makes the most sense in my eyes, if I'm being honest with you. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so that's what they got going on for them. Gyökeres is officially here. We'll definitely keep our eyes peeled for a Casemiro transfer. Sporting wants a player. We're not going to sell him. There's no point. Liverpool have offered 128. West Ham have offered, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to accept the Liverpool one. I'm going to accept the West Ham one. I'm going to accept the Forest one. And wherever he goes, he goes. Just like I did with Marcus Rashford. We accepted all of them. Wherever he goes, lads, is wherever he goes. With that being said, I'm going to simulate the 25th of January and see if Gyökeres starts to pick up some goals and if Manchester United really turns this season around. It's starting to really happen here, lads. Look at that. A 3-0 win, and Mason Mount is going to get man of the match on that one. They then go up against Brighton, where they tied 2-2. Still a positive result, if I'm being honest with you, for Manchester United. They then see Rangers in the Europa League, where they're going to pick up a 2-1 victory. On that side said one thing, and I always wait for this one because sometimes they're different. They got Fulham in the league now. On the 26th of January, excuse me. But before we go any further, we want to go ahead and quickly take a look around. There's an offer for Garnacho. I don't see Manchester United going away from him, so we'll quickly reject that. There's also another offer for a young player that, again, we'll just keep him here. There's no point of making any moves there. Again, it's not my sim, so I'm not out here trying to build my Manchester United. We're just going based off what rumors, right? There's also a rumor about Nuno Mendes, but we're not going to get into that because, again, if they buy Gyökeres, unless they sell a lot of players, I don't see them being able to bring in Nuno Mendes and bring in this player and bring in that. We just don't, you know what I mean? So with that being said, 11 points for Manchester United gets them into 11th place. Still at the top of the table is Liverpool, only 1 point clear of Chelsea, but with a game in hand. Now, what did Gyökeres do in those first couple games? Matter of fact, let's go all the way to the end of the month, and then we'll see what Gyökeres has done so far for Manchester United. Fulham up next on the 26th of January, where Manchester United will pick up a 2-1 victory, with Gyökeres getting the player of the match. Huge result for him. They then see the Europa League match, where I'm not sure if they need a win. They might need a win. They're not in the best place in the Europa League, I don't think, if I remember correctly. Big 3-1 victory to end off the month of January, lads, where they go undefeated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 victories. 2 of them coming against Arsenal and Liverpool, which is crazy. 1 tie. They did not lose a game in January. So if this happens in real life, I'm sure Manchester United fans will be extremely happy with Ruben Amorim. With that being said, Casemiro left, and also Marcus Rashford left. So those guys all took off. Those guys are no longer a part of the squad. We're going to check out what's going on with top goal scorers, all right? So we go to look at some appearances. Obviously, you can see all these players here have been playing because they've been here all year. Gyökeres already, lads, with 11 games and 9 goals. Incredible. In 11 games, he put up 9 goals and 1 assist. This is what happens when you sign a number 9. Gyökeres is going crazy. But remember that some of these goals look like they come from Sporting, right? It looks that way because in the Champions League he has 7. He has 7 in the Champions League, and he has 1 in the Europa League and 1 in the Premier League. So with that being said, he's only played 3 games in the Premier League, 2 games in it. So he has 5 games for Manchester United and 2 goals. Let's get that correct because the Premier League 3 and the Europa League 2. Champions League was when he was with Sporting. So we have to make sure that we say it. You listen, it looked good on paper. It was clickbait, bro. We caught it, though. The month of February. Again, they got Spurs, but some very winnable games in here. So let's see if Ruben Amorim continues to cash in on this great form. Crystal Palace, a big loss for Manchester United. A huge one against Crystal Palace. Is this the downfall? They didn't have Stoke City. For the FA Cup, Manchester United is home for this game, where Garnacho is going to receive man of the match, and they are going to drop a 2-0 masterclass. They go up against Spurs. Okay, Spurs away at the Spurs Stadium, where they take another loss on February 16th, 2-1. Big loss for Manchester United. They then see Everton away to Everton. Everton's also a team that's been struggling in England as of late. Manchester United is going to win this one, and Garnacho is going to receive another man of the match in the month of February. Manchester United is then going to beat Ipswich. Hopefully I said that right. I always mess their snub. Ipswich Town. I think I said that right. They're going to win that at Old Trafford 2-1, and it's going to be an up and down roller coaster of a month. They're going to win 2 games in the Premier League. They're going to lose 2 games in the Premier League. They're going to win their FA Cup game. That's 3 wins and 2 losses in the month of February. As they head into March, it gets difficult. They have a Bundesliga team, all right, German team in the Europa League. They have Crystal Palace, and they have Arsenal. Let's get the action going. They're going to go up against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup, who they just lost to in the Premier League. This time it's at home at Old Trafford, where they win 2-0, and Onana's going to get a man of the match performance. He's going to get the trophy for man of the match in that one. We then get the German team in the round of 16 in the Europa League. Bruno Fernandes receives the man of the match in the Europa League, and it's going to be a 3-1 victory to Manchester United. Arsenal versus Manchester United. Arsenal's going to win 2-0. I think it's an acceptable. It said Arsenal won, but then it said Manchester United won here. Manchester United won 2-0 with Mason Mount getting man of the match. They then tie, but eliminate the German side 4-2 on aggregate, I'm pretty sure. They eliminated them. Their next game is going to be against Forest in the FA Cup in just 5 days at home in the Manchester United Stadium. FA Cup round 16. They're going to win 1-0 with Eriksen receiving the man of the match. Interesting. We'll see if Eriksen's actually at Manchester United at the end of January, because they've said that he could be on the way out. That is a win against Crystal Palace. They eliminate the German side in the Europa League. They beat Arsenal 2-0. They win their FA Cup against Forest, which was the round of 16, I believe, against Forest. April, they see Forest. They see City. They got Spurs in the Europa League. Very tough matchup, man. They got City in the Cup, and then they have Newcastle Wolves. This is a tough month. This is a very tough month. We'll quickly take a look at what Gyökeres has done since joining Manchester United to see if he's helped a lot. We go over to the stats to kick it off. We're going to see how many games he's played. He was at 9 before. He is now at 21 games, so he has played a lot of games. Only 10 goals now, lads. So he's only gone up 1 goal and 2 assists. So, lads, let's talk about it. Still 7 goals in the Champions League. That was at Sporting. In the Premier League, 8 games played, 2 goals, 1 assist. 3 contributions in the Premier League in 8 games. And the Europa League, 1 goal. Got to be honest with you. Gyökeres is not cooking. Let's be real with each other. Top goal scorer at Manchester United is Bruno Fernandes, then Garnacho, then Gyökeres. But again, most goals came at Sporting. Top assist guy, Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen, my boy Ahmed, and then Garnacho, then Mason Mount. Lads, Gyökeres not really cooking. Let's be honest with each other. We're gonna have to quickly take a look at the table. That's something we haven't looked at in a little bit. 45 points for Spurs, 42 points for Manchester United as they fought their way into 9th place. If they want to get into the top 5 or top 6, they're gonna need 4 points. And they have a game behind Newcastle, but one of the craziest months are coming up. The game against Newcastle this month's going to be a big one as well, because they're trailing Newcastle and fighting for top 5. Let's start off with the Forest game. Here we go, the month of April. This is where championships are won and lost. April kicks off with the Forest game with Bruno receiving player of the game, man of the match, and they're going to win their first game. They then have Manchester City in the league, where they're going to beat Manchester City once again, and Bruno's going to get back-to-back man of the matches. He's on track for a player of the month with those 2 massive results. They see Spurs in the Europa League, where they are going to win. Yep, Gyökeres receives a man of the match, and they win it 2-1 against Spurs at home at United at Old Trafford. They then go up against Newcastle, big game we talked about, but it's a tie for them. That's unfortunate as they're trailing Newcastle. They then see Spurs again, and on aggregate, they eliminate Spurs 5-1 in the Europa League, and Ruben Amorim has this team cooking now. They beat Spurs 3-0, 2-1. They tie to Newcastle. They beat Forest, and they beat City, putting them in a pretty good spot. Let's be honest with each other. That should have them really moving up the table in the Premier League, and it does. They're now in 7th place on 49 points. They are trailing Spurs by 3 points. They are trailing City by a lot of points. But if they can somehow jump Spurs, that would be ginormous. They have a couple huge games. They got Wolves, they got Leicester, they got Man City in a cup game. Remember, they've beat Man City back-to-back. It's going to be very tough for them to win again. They got Wolves at home in Old Trafford. It's going to be a tie, 1-1. That's going to hurt their chances. Maino is going to get himself a man of the match. We're going to move forward to Leicester City, where they're going to beat Leicester City 2-1, keep their chances going. Man of the match for Gyökeres. Big game coming up against Manchester City at Old Trafford in a FA Cup semi-final, where Bruno Fernandes wins man of the match, and they are heading to a final under Ruben Amorim. But aren't they eliminated from the FA Cup in real life already? Please let me know in the comments down below, because if you head back to the month of the month of December, they eliminated Spurs. But I believe Spurs eliminated Manchester United in real life. So that is something that is happening in the EA sim, but I don't believe it's happening in real life, because I believe Spurs eliminated them. If I remember correctly, they lost that game. Let me know if I'm right or wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure they're eliminated. Anyways, we head back, we teleport back into April, where the month went crazy. 2 ties, one against Newcastle, one against Wolves, but then they eliminated Spurs, they eliminated City, they beat Leicester, they beat Forest. The month of May has them playing Lazio, I believe in the semifinals of the Europa League. Has a final, it looks like, against Chelsea, if that's the final right there on the 17th. They got the Bees, they got West Ham, they got some big ones, lads. Huge games coming up, absolutely monstrous games. We'll quickly head to look at the standings for Manchester United. Man, they really have a chance here at the Europa League, lads. Atletico Bilbao, good team. Galatasaray, good team. Lazio and Manchester United, they have a good chance here, lads. If they can get by Lazio, they have a good chance of winning this final. We head back to look at this, and you can see they're in the seventh, but they are very far, and here's the problem. City are really starting to cook. That is a 5-point gap, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 5-point gap between City and Spurs. Gonna be a little bit tough here. Gonna be tough for them to get into the top 6, but they really fought back, man. We gotta be real with each other. They have really fought back, and it hasn't really been down to Gyökeres. Gyökeres hasn't really done that much for them. But again, you know, when you have someone that can hold up the play, that's important. Gyökeres now has 13 goals. Why? Because 3 come in the Premier League in 13 games, 3 come in the Europa League in 6 games, and 7 come in the Champions League for Sporting. So Gyökeres kind of starting to score a little bit now. But again, maybe his hold-up play is really helping the team out. We are cooking right now, man. Let's keep rocking. We head back into the schedule, and it's going to be Lazio, the Bees, and then Lazio again. We start off with the Italians at home in Old Trafford, where Manchester United is going to win 2-0. Huge result for them. 2-0. Bruno Fernandes walking out with the player of the match. The Bees against Manchester United away. Bruno Fernandes, another man of the match, winning against the Bees 2-1. Lazio, a knockout game to go to the final of the Europa League. Can they do it? It looks like they do. They win 5-1 on aggregate. Another Bruno Fernandes masterclass, sending them to the final of the Europa League. It's West Ham. Big game. 2 massive games. Let's see if they can get it popping. 2 massive games this week before they see Chelsea. They go up against West Ham at home in Old Trafford. Manchester United ties the game 1-1. Bad result for them, if I'm being honest. They move on to another game, this time away from Old Trafford. A 2-2 result. Not good on May 14th. Not the way to end the season. Mason Mount gets player of the match. We are cooking, lads. We're going to keep it moving here, man. They got big game coming up. Atletico Bilbao in the final of the Europa League, the final of the FA Cup. Let's see if they go trophyless or if Ruben Amorim wins silverware. They go up against Chelsea first. In the final, Maino gets man of the match, and it says they win the FA Cup. But in real life, they are eliminated. But in here, it says they do get silverware under Ruben. FA Cup final against Atletico Bilbao, and they're going to win it. They win the Europa League against Atletico Bilbao. Very manageable, in my opinion, in real life. Huge result for them. They win the Europa League. And then there's 2 games remaining to end it off. One against Aston Villa, where Aston Villa is going to win 1-0 and really hurt Manchester United's chances here of getting anything out of the season, the FA Cup. And then bounce back to the to the Premier League, where they win 3-1 against Chelsea to end off the season, I believe. I believe that's the end of the season for Manchester United. Now, with that being said, May ended great as they won the Europa League. Let me ask you a question. If you win the Europa League, do you go directly into the Champions League? Do you still win that spot, or is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that's a thing. But if it is a thing, then they would be in the Champions League that way, because they're going to win. They're going to miss the Europa League. They're going to miss the Champions League. They're going to miss the Champions League based off of this, right? They're not getting in. But do you get in at 7? I don't think you get in at 7. I think it's 6 and above in the Premier League, right? I don't know if it goes to 7. I think it goes to top 6, lads. You have to let me know in the comments down below. But it is a good bounce back for Ruben Amorim. From 14th place to 7th place, 4 points behind City. Liverpool wins the league. Arsenal, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Spurs, City, Manchester United. Not bad. A good bounce back. Again, they won the FA Cup, which won't happen in real life, I don't believe. And they won the Europa League, which is possible in real life. So that's really good. We head over to see if Gyökeres actually helped out or not. Let's check it out. Stats for Gyökeres. How many games did he end up playing? Gyökeres ends up playing a total of 38 games for them, scoring a total of 14 goals. 4 came in the Premier League in 18. 7 came in the Champions League for Sporting. 3 came in the Europa League in 9 games. So a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals in 38 appearances. Tough. 10 contributions in 38 games for Manchester United. You guys let me know if that was worth 100 million or not. I'm leaning towards no, but they did win silverware under him. Bruno Fernandes stepped it up with 34 goals and 13 assists. Garnacho with 18 goals and 7 assists. Those guys really stepped up. Sancho had a great season for Chelsea. Mason Mount with 9 and 7. Eriksen with 8 and 11. I need you guys to get in the comments down below and let me know if you think Gyökeres did enough to deserve to sign for Manchester United. This is what the sim would look like if the rumors are true. Rashford out, Casemiro out, and if they were able to bring in Gyökeres. We made all 3 of those moves happen. They end up winning the FA Cup, which again, can't happen in real life, I don't think. They also won the Europa League, which that could happen. Like I said, in real life, that is a very big possibility. And they came in 7th place. Oh, Manchester United's still alive in the FA Cup, lads. I lied. They are playing Arsenal on Sunday, January 12th, the game after Liverpool. So that is a possibility. They are still alive in that. I'm sorry, they're out of the EFL, but they are alive in the FA Cup. So what they won in this sim, they can win in real life. Yep, they can win the FA Cup because they would have to eliminate Arsenal. And that's what they did. They eliminated Arsenal and then made it to the final and won it all in the final. Interesting. So they won the FA Cup, like I said, and they also won the Europa League and came in 7th in the league. That, my friends, is the Manchester United Ruben Amorim Gyökeres sim. Let me know what rumors you guys want us to try next and see what happens if it actually takes place. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, big thumbs up, subscribe, turn your bell on. Appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. But if this is true, Ruben Amorim, they might build a statue for you outside, lad. I ain't gonna lie.